Listen, ChatGPT just rolled out one of the biggest game changing features ever. That's projects in ChatGPT. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT projects so you can really change the way that you organize your chats, your ideas, your client work, and even collaborate with your clients. So stick around. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ebony Evaughn, your go-to business operations strategist, here to help you grow your business with people and processes. And in today's video, I'm back with another Ebony Explains. This is a series where I give you my latest tech recommendations, tutorials, and reviews. And today we are going to be reviewing a brand new feature inside of ChatGPT, which is projects. Now, I know some of you are like, girl, what are you talking about? Projects is not new. I have been using projects forever. Yes, if you have a paid plan of ChatGPT, you have had access to projects for quite some time now. But if you have only been using the free version of ChatGPT, then you probably just saw projects pop up within your user interface. And in this video, I'm going to give you tips on how you can use projects to organize your ideas and just kind of streamline your operations behind the scenes if you're using ChatGPT. So, first things first, let's talk about what projects actually are. Up until now, you probably have noticed that when you logged into ChatGPT, all of your previous chats were just kind of like in a little section on the side task menu when you logged in, and each chat was basically separated. With the introduction of ChatGPT projects, now you can basically group your chats together based on specific topics, interests, or even maybe client projects or departments or initiatives within your business. So with projects, essentially this is like you having a personalized workspace where you can organize all of your ideas around a specific goal, topic, or even client if you want to. So now that we kind of know what projects are, let me give you some different ways for how you can actually use these in your business. And to do this, let's hop over to ChatGPT and I'll give you a firsthand look. All right, so I am logged into my Ebony Meets World ChatGPT account. So I have my main Social Republic business ChatGPT, and then I have a separate one for Ebony Meets World, and I have them separate because right now my travel channel is literally just a hobby at this moment. But one of my intentions for the next year is I want to be more intentional about treating it not as a business per se, but a little bit more business like. Okay, I want to keep it as hobby as long as I can, but I do want to start, leveraging brand deals, maybe even doing some type of sponsorships and planning retreats and things like that. So now that I'm inside of my Chat GPT account, you can see I am on the free account. And then you can see up here, I do have the projects icon. So I don't have any projects that I created yet, but we're going to create one. So when it comes to creating a project in ChatGPT, you may want to create projects around different things depending on how you plan to use it. So the main use case scenario for using projects is going to be for, of course, organization. You want to be able to create projects so that you could group things on like a specific goal, a specific topic maybe, or if you're working with clients, let's say I was a travel agent or something, I may want to actually group them based on a client's project or a trip that I may be planning. So another way that you can use projects would be just to maintain consistency, and this will definitely be helpful if you're using ChatGPT for work or school. You can group it by the class that you have or the department within your business. So for example, in my business account for Social Republic, I actually have a folder. I have a main marketing folder that is just general digital marketing. And then I also have another project folder that is specific to email marketing, and everything in that email marketing folder It has my email marketing frameworks, the cadences that we use, different types of emails for like our educational emails, our storytelling emails. And so every time that I actually create a chat within that folder, it's going to reference those frameworks and all of the information. So let's go ahead and create our first project. So to do that, I'm just going to go up to where it says project and I want to click on that. And you can see that it pops up a box where I can actually name my project. So the first thing I want to do is some business planning. So we're going to call this business strategy. And before I hit the create project button, I want to bring your attention up here to this little gear sign. And I want you to click on this and make sure that you set your memory parameters. So when it comes to your project specifically, you'll have two options for how you want your ChatGPT memory to behave. You have the option to set it at default or either project only. So if you are using like custom instructions or you've told ChatGPT, hey, I want you to follow these instructions. I want you to respond in this brand voice or in this tone, and those are in your global ChatGPT custom instructions. Then if you click on default, this is going to consider not only the chats that are within this project, but it's going to consider your global parameters in other chats as well. And so that may be something that you want to do. Let's say you're working on things at like a department and sub department level. So you have like main custom instructions for marketing or just your overall business strategy. And then you also are working on email marketing. You may want to reference your business strategy, your marketing strategy in that specific chat as well. On the other hand, let's say that you are working on a specific client's project where you only want the chats within that project to be referenced, then you will set it to project only, and it's not going to consider your global settings. So you don't want it to apply your marketing channels if you're working on a client project and they may use different marketing channels, right? So hopefully that is making sense, but you want to make sure that you set this before you hit create, because at the time of me making this video, you can see it says here that note that this setting cannot be changed later. So you want to set this before you create your folder, okay? So we're going to leave it at default since this is my business strategy, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit create project. So once my project is created, you can see now that I have a folder here that says business strategy. And then when we look at our chat space, it says business strategy and it says new chat and business strategy. So any chat that I create here is going to go in this project folder. So a couple other things that I want to point out to you is you will notice, number one, that you have the option to add files here. And you may want to add files to this if you want there to be special considerations that ChatGPT will leverage whenever it's doing chats within this project. So for example, since this is my business strategy folder, I may want to actually upload like my brand style guide or something so that it can apply my brand tone or brand values, know what my brand promise is and all that other stuff. So I don't actually have a brand style guide for Ebony Meets World. I probably need one, but maybe I'll work on creating one soon. But for the meantime, I'm just going to upload my Soul Struck Republic brand style guide here. And so now any chat that I create within this project is going to reference my brand style guide to make sure that it is following those guidelines. So if you are on the free plan, I do want to highlight the fact that you need to be strategic about the files that you do attach to each one of your projects, because I believe there is a 5 file limit per project for each one of the folders that you create within your ChatGPT interface. So in addition to adding files, another option that you have is going to be adding personalized custom instructions. So before I click on this, I want to go down here to my just global settings, and I'm going to go to personalize. I think I do have custom instructions in here. So with your custom instructions, you have your global custom instructions that you can set for how you want ChatGPT to behave, how you want it to respond, if there's any special considerations that you want it to have. You can add all of that. You can add information about yourself, your business in there as well. If you are not using custom instructions, baby, what are you doing? But I have done a previous video in the past that I will link in the cards for you that walks you through how to create custom instructions and set this up for your business. But now, in addition to your global custom instructions that you have down here in these settings, you also have the option to add custom instructions for each project that you create. So when you create your instructions with inside your project, these instructions are going to override your global settings if there is something that is contradictory. So if it doesn't contradict your global settings, then it will, still consider them. But if you, let's say in your global settings, it says, I want you to use a warm, soft tone. And then in your project instructions, you say, I want you to be cold and dark. Then it's going to be cold and dark. It's not going to consider the fact that you said be warm and soft in the global settings. So you want to make sure that you're very strategic and intentional about whatever instructions you add in here. So I don't have any instructions to add at the moment. So what I will do is just copy some instructions from somewhere else, and then we'll paste that in there and we'll use those. So now any chats that I start here is going to consider my brand style guide as well as the custom instructions that I just added. All right, so in addition to that, let's see what else I want to go over. I talked about memory. Oh, let's talk about collaborations. So, in addition to having projects and being able to have that organization as well as personalization through your custom instructions, another powerful thing about projects is this is going to change the way that you can actually collaborate with your team members as well as clients. So, going back to our chat project over here, let's say that I hire like a marketing assistant or a VA. I can actually add them into this chat by going up here to where it says share. And then when I click on this, I can enter their email address, invite them here. When you add someone, you want to make sure that you use the email address that they signed up with ChatGPT with. And then you can add them here, and you can also copy this link and then send that to them, and they can access it that way as well. So when you add someone to a chat to collaborate, you'll see you can set the access level. So right now, this is set to only those that are invited can join and participate in this chat, or you can make it public. Let's say you create a resource or something and you want to share with your entire email list, your audience. You can do that by just toggling it to anyone with the link. But one way that I love to use this is really with collaborating with clients in a way that I really couldn't do before, because ChatGPT plus client work and collaboration is just a recipe for something amazing when you can brainstorm with ChatGPT, right? So let's say that I'm not a travel agent. Don't send me any messages. But let's say that I had a travel agency and I was like a travel concierge planning trips for a client. I can come in here and go, I'll create a project. Let's say Sierra's Paris trip. And then once I create this folder, now I'm going to go to my settings and I'm going to make this project specific, because everything in here is only going to be specific to this particular client. So I'm going to go ahead, hit create project. And then let's say the client sends me, like, let's say I have a client fill out like a information form about their trip. They tell me their budget, they tell me the activities that they want to do, maybe the area that they want to stay in, if there's any food restrictions. They're telling me all of this information to help me plan their trip. I can literally take that form, convert it to PDF, upload it here, or maybe they send me this in an email and I could actually just upload the email here and save it. And then ChatGPT is going to consider that as we're planning the client's trip. So, in addition to that, I could also invite the client here as well. I would enter the email address, and then I could share this project with the client, and then we can pretty much brainstorm or plan her trip in this space. So there you go. That is how you can use projects inside of ChatGPT, from setup to collaboration. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give this video a like. If you are interested in getting done for you, ready to use copy and paste prompts that can help expedite the way that you're using ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool, then check out the link in the description to my Assist Correct prompt library. This vault gives you ready to use prompts that help you do multiple different tasks within your business, everything from business planning to client services, customer service, content creation, you name it, coming up with marketing ideas. I give you prompts for all of that inside of the Assist Correct prompt vault. Again, the link is in the description. Other than that, I just want to say thanks so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll be the first one to get notified anytime I post another video just like this. In the meantime, you can also check out that custom instructions video to learn how to create your own ChatGPT custom instructions to get better responses.